Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today I'm taking a look at Chef Life, a restaurant simulator for the PlayStation 5. However, it is available on PlayStation 4 as well. Now, what is Chef Life, a restaurant simulator? Well, it's an immersive hands-on experience for those of you who are interested in managing your own restaurant and being the head chef. So it kind of combines realistic cooking mechanics and also with a challenge of running your own business. It allows you to customize your restaurant, create new dishes for the restaurant, and manage everything from the ingredients to the customer satisfaction aspects of the game as well. So it's really quite an in-depth simulator, this game. The controls are quite intuitive as well and responsive. I think they work quite well for the PS5. I've played a few cooking simulators in my time, and it's actually quite simple to use, no problems with the controller or anything like that. It's got some haptic feedback, and the DualSense works quite well here for the PlayStation 5. You've got dishes that you prepare, so you start off with only a handful of dishes to start with, and you've got to kind of perfect those dishes. You've got to order the right ingredients. You can pin the dishes to your screen as well, so it kind of goes through the sequence of what you need to do. You've got to get the ingredients from the fridge. You've got to either take them to the chopping board, chop up your ingredients, go to the meat counter and chop up your meat, or get your fish ready. Then you've got to kind of cook things. You've got sauces that you might need to cook. You've got steaks you might need to fry. You've got chips or fries that you need to put in the fryer. You've got things you've got to season. You've got to stir things, all that kind of stuff. It sounds quite complex, but it's actually quite simple to follow. And I really did enjoy that aspect of the game. So some of these games can be quite intense, really, because it's if you don't do this right now, you're going to burn your food, or this is going to happen, it's all going to go disastrously wrong. Well, it leans more into relaxing than stressful, this game, which is perfect for me. I love relaxing, chilled out games, and this is quite a chilled out experience. Like I say, if you've got the recipes pinned to your screen, they're quite simple to follow. And even when you're opening the restaurant for business, you've got a time scale throughout the day. So you can prep your ingredients beforehand as well for the dishes that you've got, and you can store them in the fridge, so you can have things pre-prepared, pre-chopped as well. So it's just a case of cooking them to order, which I really, really liked. It spoke to my inner OCD, I suppose. So if you enjoy management sims, and you like cooking as well, and you're looking for a really cool cooking sim, this is probably, if I'm honest, the best one that I have played in regards to a cooking simulator. It's really, really good as well. You get to create your own character at the beginning as well, male, female, and get them look how you want them to look. You could design, obviously, your chef outfit and all that kind of stuff. And it leans into those creative juices that we've all got. So, like I say, it's a deep dive into the world of restaurant management, customers, cooking meals, customer service. So it's got loads of fun, engaging experiences in the game. You've got to interact. You hire people to work in the restaurant, to clean the kitchen, to deal with the customers front of house. They'll come and bring the ticket to you, tell you what they've ordered, and then you come and order it, and then you bring it back to the counter when you've cooked it, and serve it up, sort of thing. And then that's how you kind of earn your money. Very, very simple, really. So I think as well the game looks really quite nice. I mean, you just look at it there. I mean, it's got almost like a comic aesthetic to it, a cartoon aesthetic, but it's really done quite well, and you know what everything is. Sometimes you'll play these games, you're like, what is that ingredient? And it's very, very clear here. You don't need to worry. Everything looks like it should do. It's the detailed, the sharp, the kitchen environments all look pretty good, and it captures the intricacies of a professional kitchen. It's got realistic tools, appliances, textures, and it's quite impressive detail, in my opinion. The menus, the recipes, and the restaurant layout are all really quite easy to navigate as well. The interface and the UI is easy to use. The game, I don't think, overwhelms you with excessive menus or anything like that. So it's a very welcome design choice, especially for console, because I don't know if this was originally released on PC and then came to console. Sometimes when that happens, they just kind of, clumsily put the controls together. I think it works quite well here. So, as the chef, you're tasked with preparing meals to order, each requiring different ingredients, techniques, and timing. The controls are satisfying. It's fun. You've got lots of chopping, stirring, frying, garnishing. There's an extra layer as well, where you can kind of once you've cooked the meal, you can kind of redesign how the meal looks to kind of give it that garnish and that really creative edge. It's really quite forgiving, the cooking system. It's not too difficult to grasp, but you still do require a level of precision as well. You can overcook things, you can undercook things, and you can miss key ingredients if you don't pay attention, and that'll result basically in dissatisfied customers, and that's good as well. I think the game does as well that I think is really good. It doesn't rush you. Like I say, some of these cooking games, it feels like they have to pile a pressure on and really rush you, whereas in this game, you just don't feel rushed at all. It feels like you can kind of go through it at your own pace and make the meals and make them as good as you can, rather than kind of messing up because you've got 16 burgers or steaks to make or anything like that. So you've got a delicate balance between cooking multiple dishes and maintaining the quality of your restaurant's offerings, because it's really, you're trying to get Michelin stars here. So you've got recipe creation and menu design as well here. So one of the good features here is the freedom to experiment with recipes. You can create and tweak dishes based on your restaurant's theme or your customers' preferences. You can spend time sourcing your ingredients, and you've got to do that at the beginning of the day. You've got to ring it through to your supplier. They'll deliver your ingredients, and you've got to put them all on the shelves and that kind of stuff ready for that day's service. You've got to manage all other aspects of the restaurant as well, and that includes staffing, you've got customer satisfaction, your budget management, and restaurant expansion. You've got to be really clever in how you recruit your staff and what roles you're going to assign them, such as extra cooks, waiters, dishwashers, cleaners. It's essential really for making sure that your restaurant runs smoothly. Now, when you first start off, it's a one-man show. There's you mainly doing all the cooking and somebody else doing the cleaning and somebody working front of house. The more money you make, the more you expand, you can hire more people. That's generally how these management games work. So, like I said, the management systems here are pretty deep. And when you look at them, you kind of think that could be quite overwhelming, but it never is overwhelming, in my opinion. It's not overly complicated. It doesn't overwhelm you. I never felt overwhelmed once playing this. You just kind of wanted to, get everything out on as good as you could make it for the customer, and generally speaking, unless you really mess up, they're generally very, very happy. Like I say, the game doesn't rush you as well. It's got some nice sound design as well. There's no voice acting to speak of here, but it's like I say, it's got that nice relaxing vibe going on while you're playing it, sort of thing. But there's some subtle background music. But again, it's one of those games. Really, if you wanted to, you could listen to your favourite Spotify list in the background. It's not really going to affect the game really. There's a moderate level of difficulty here. It's easy, I think, to manage the restaurant, but as the business grows, that's when the complexities start coming into to play, in my opinion, and it can get a little bit more difficult if you don't kind of get the balance just right. You can get yourself in a bit of a tiz. So you need to learn to manage your time effectively and balance the customer demands and maintain a high standard of service so that you keep your reputation. In regards to progression, it's fairly open-ended, really. You can choose to focus on different aspects of the restaurant, whether it's fine-tuning your recipes, expanding the space, improving your customer satisfaction. While, it does kind of remain similar throughout in regards to the objectives, there's a lot of freedom of how you approach it. You know what I mean? Do you want to just focus on one thing first and then, expand in these other areas later on? It's really up to you. It can, I suppose, unless you're quite a chilled person sort of thing, and you don't mind the chilled approach that this game kind of gives you, it can feel quite repetitive over time. But I feel like the core gameplay is fun and quite engaging. So I'll be honest, I personally never felt bored playing this, and it kept me engaged. But for some people, it might eventually lead to a little bit of a burnout. But I think it's a highly enjoyable, cooking sim, this, and it really is a quite a complex cooking simulator underneath it all, but they've balanced that really quite, making it quite accessible and enjoyable to play. You do feel like you're creating these great dishes. So for me, as a cooking sim, I think this is worth checking out for you guys if you've never played it. It's easy enough to pick up on a sale these days. I'm going to give it a fairly strong 7 out of 10. I think it's definitely worth trying out. If you're a big fan of these type of games, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's easy to pick up these days, and it will scratch that creative itch that you guys might have out there, wanting to become a Michelin star chef, your own master chef kitchen on the rise. So I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. I hope you found it useful. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.